The story that's ignited fierce passions across the nation. Trayvon Martin, an unarmed black teenager, was shot down by a white neighborhood watchman and has not at this point been arrested.
The setting is the forgetting streets of Sanford, Florida. Another example of the horrible horror the world has for us and the need for a true forest bias. I used to spend many days at 75 Forbes, where my fortress was a forest we used as a shortcut, and I moved north, but I'm still a tourist in many places where many faces have statements of the desire to run but stay put. And a staple of any place is the ability to document their experience, and I'm serious about the task at hand. He was simply walking with a hoodie off into the night, living life minding his business as he should be, and no one even asked that man to play vigilante and kill this boy for the weaponry of a beverage and a few pieces of candy and brandy complected skin, armed and dangerous for wandering aimlessly at halftime, where a 15-minute intermission became nap time in a world where people are dreaming of skiing in back nines depending on the season. And it's like the greatest pastime was not fitting the description of that guy, with his reason to send a teenager pastime, and in the pastime gave children moments to discover the journey of ironies and finally deciding what direction heaven was. But for some reason we wonder if we could ever trust anyone not vested in a forever us, together blood in and blood out. And there's so much now out to sever us, and a seven love don't always equate to a forever us. But together we experience the weather in blue waters. I try to call a lifeline with 2 quarters, and we'll spend a lifetime in new quarters. I offer this piece of my peace of mind in honor of my 2 brothers who will leave behind 2 daughters. And she lost 1 son, and watched as the suspect would continually cut checks as if someone gave reason to celebrate. And in the season I meditate. For some reason we hesitate to set a date for the revolution, and typhoons would tear through the lands, and Sandy would hurricane through the northern states. And the corner tapes have been sampled with Sandy Hook, an example of how insanity looks, how one event can change how the family looks. All it took was candy and look. And he claimed his innocent child had a wild and manly look, a cup in the wild, where gunfire would send him up higher. For our babies have seen enough fire, with no one to protect them from the rejection the world has to offer. And of course it's the year past cultures talked of and thought of as the end of time. But for the faded angel, that's where the second story begins in time. And when we begin to rhyme, we connect the beauty of the water with the beauty of our sons and daughters, and offer the greatest future we could ever have thought of. This is what I thought of when I thought of 2012.
Not even the death of my son would separate me from the love of my son.
Zimmerman has been found not guilty in the murder of Trayvon Martin.
My heart is broken, but it breaks even more to know that we have not gotten justice yet.
When a jury of 6 white women called the killing justified, the critics said it said more about us than it said about the man who pulled the trigger.
This guy looks like he's up to no good. He looks black, a dark hoodie.
If I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon.